President Trump is now a convicted felon, convicted and decided by a jury of his peers.
Donald Trump was entitled to a trial by a jury of his peers. He received it.
This was a jury. This was a jury of his peers, a jury of fellow New Yorkers, as he is.
All right, you see? A jury did it, a jury. That's a jury of his peers. I've heard that excuse before. Emmett Till.
Really? You're going to compare Donald Trump to Emmett Till? But I'm going to tell you the political reason why he's doing that. It's very ham-handed, but there is actually a strategy behind it. But first, get the whole story, Ben.
Greg Kelly made this insanely questionable comparison between the jury that convicted Donald Trump and in his hush money trial to the jury that acquitted the suspect who murdered Emmett Till. Let's hear a little bit more and see if there's any bit of sense that can be gleaned from Kelly's argument.
A jury did it, a jury. That's a jury of his peers. Number one, he doesn't have any peers. He's a former president. It is a unique position constitutionally. We really do have impeachment for offenses by him. That was an appropriate forum. They did it often enough, right? But not this. But you notice, like, a jury of his peers. A jury did it, I've heard that excuse before. Emmett Till, young man beaten to death all the way back in the 1950s. What did he do? He said hello to a white woman, something like that. And an all-white mob beat him to death. And 3 people, I believe, were arrested. And the jury said, we don't see no problem here, and let him go, right? A jury of the accuser's peers found nothing to see here. So a jury, I'm told, gets it wrong sometimes. Seems to be a lot of people who think that a lot of murderers were let free that day.
In the summer of 1955, 14-year-old African-American child Emmett Till was shopping at a store owned by Roy and Carolyn Bryant, and someone said he possibly whistled at Mrs. Bryant, a white woman. At some point around August 28th, he was kidnapped, beaten, shot in the head, had a large metal fan tied to his neck with barbed wire, and was thrown into the Tallahatchie River. His body was soon recovered and an investigation was opened. It took fewer than 4 weeks for the case to go to trial. Roy Bryant and his half-brother J.W. Millam were accused of the murder, and an all-white, all-male jury acquitted both of them. No one else was ever indicted or prosecuted for involvement in the kidnapping or murder. Bryant and Millam, though, later confessed and told a magazine journalist all the grisly details of their crime. I failed to see how a single ounce of that compares to Donald Trump, one of the most privileged men in human history, who has, anyway.
Yeah, so look, there's a lot of things wrong here. So I don't even want to get into further details of how they found Emmett Till's body. So they do that to a poor kid like that for no reason. Donald Trump, on the other hand, was convicted for falsifying his business records because he was cheating during the election so people don't find out that he was sleeping with a porn star after his wife had just delivered their baby. You think those two things are equivalent and we should be talking about them in the same breath? That is unreal. And all of a sudden, Newsmax, even more right-wing than Fox News, cares about Emmett Till. I've never seen them talk about Emmett Till before. I've never seen them talk about the civil rights murders before. But all of a sudden, they care about Emmett Till. Gee, I wonder why. Because what they're doing is they're trying to get black voters to go and vote for Trump. So they're saying, you see that? Trump is a victim of injustice. Just like during the Jim Crow era, African Americans were victims of injustice. Now, by the way, that's the same Greg Kelly that'll tell you today. There's no racism. African Americans are not the victim of any injustice at all in the country, at all. But now all of a sudden, Donald Trump's black, and you should all have sympathy for him and vote for him, please.
Thanks for watching. Our audience has helped build TYT into the media giant it is today. Together, we can accomplish anything. Support our work and join us at tyt.com/team.
He even did a Southern accent. Did you notice that? That's the kind of thing that I do sometimes when now you're making fun of a Southern accent on Newsmax? Okay, it's so transparent. It's true that now Donald Trump has picked up more voters among African Americans, especially young African Americans, and that's why they're leaning into this. Because they're not doing news, they're doing propaganda. And now all of a sudden he's against the decisions of juries. I remember right-wingers telling us that juries were the most sacrosanct thing in the world when a jury let Kyle Rittenhouse go and George Zimmerman go. And when they were acquitted, they were like, jury of his peers, jury. I don't care, no, I don't care. Perfectly innocent. Now when a jury convicts Donald Trump, they're like, juries don't mean anything. Juries, you guys are so obvious. So in reality, what's my opinion on juries? Am I principled on this? Of course. So is the jury system the right system? Yes. Do juries get it wrong sometimes? Of course they get it wrong sometimes. OJ got acquitted. If you ask, George Zimmerman got acquitted. That was monstrous in my opinion, right? Let alone Rittenhouse and the others. But that doesn't mean that every jury is trash and that everyone is a victim of injustice. That's simplistic way of thinking, and that's what they're trying to trigger here on Newsmax.
Yeah, that's what the whole network is based on over there, is just taking the most simplistic take they can to manipulate their viewers. And this isn't the first time that Greg Kelly has made a head-spinning comparison like that, and one that plays on racial sensitivities and our atrocious history on that as well. Take a listen to this.
The stuff he does is stuff that other people do. He just does it better. So you may have heard about this Truth Social message over the weekend, and he had a lot to say. I mean, he's under attack. Happy Memorial Day to all, including the human scum that is working so hard to destroy our once great country. Human scum, all right, that's pretty harsh. But you know what? If you're trying to destroy this country and sexualize children and throw that man in jail, human scum, I can live with that. Yeah, oh my, I can't believe he used that word, S-C-U-M. I've heard worse. I've heard a lot worse from people they told us would bring normalcy. What about when Obama said the N-word? That's pretty, well, for some people that would be unforgivable, but Obama is just cool, right?
Racism, we are not cured of. Clearly. And it's not just a matter of it not being polite to say in public.
Yeah, I don't even understand the logic flow of what Greg Kelly is trying to say. Yeah. A black man making a point using the N-word about how you shouldn't say that is the exact opposite of somebody using a term to try to demonize people. Yeah. Obviously, they aren't the same words, they aren't the same terms, but that just doesn't make any sense in any way. The podcast clip that Kelly showed from Mark Maron's WTF was an interview Obama gave to him in 2015, where he was speaking bluntly about racism in the United States, reflecting on the murder of 9 people at a prayer service at a historically black church just the week prior. For the full quote and more context, Obama said, "We are not cured of it, and it's not just a matter of it not being polite to say the N-word in public," and he didn't say the words N-word. That's not the measure of whether racism still exists or not. It's just not a matter of overt discrimination. Societies don't overnight completely erase everything that happened 200 to 300 years prior. The legacy of slavery, Jim Crow, discrimination in almost every institution of our lives, you know, that casts a long shadow, and that's still part of our DNA that is passed on. Because somehow that is the same thing as another former president calling out human scum on a holiday to honor fallen soldiers. And also, aside from the fact that it doesn't even make sense, like almost everything Donald Trump says doesn't even make sense on its face. If these people are destroying the country and are human scum, maybe don't wish them a happy Memorial Day.
Okay, last fun thing. Greg Kelly, not known for being overly logical, including this segment that we just showed you guys about the Emmett Till jury. So remember, he's defending Donald Trump, a former president and supposedly a billionaire, incredibly wealthy, incredibly powerful. Listen how he started that same segment.
If only the comedians, if only the media were kind of making fun of the powerful, right? That's kind of what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to afflict the comfort. How does it go again? Comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable, right? Comedians, media, journalists, and it's the opposite. And it's wrong. And they're letting them get away with so much.
He just comforted the powerful Donald Trump to let him get away with so much. He's unbelievable. No logic required.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.